This is Max with Family Piano, and right in front of me is Casio's GP-510. This is a Grand Hybrid piano, and what that means is it's a real high-tier digital piano, that has a lot of real physical parts, in common with the grand piano, such as it has full-length piano keys, grand piano length, and they're made out of Austrian spruce, and they just feel lovely. In addition, it has a grand piano hammer mechanism, and I'll show you on the B-roll, internally there's real hammers, which just add for a really nice weighted feel. Very authentic. It was designed in collaboration with C. Bechstein, which is just a fantastic German piano company, one of the best in the world. So one of the big things that this instrument boasts is 3 legendary pianos in one. Is kind of the tagline here. You have the Berlin Grand, the Hamburg Grand, and the Vienna Grand. And as always, I want to focus in on how this instrument sounds. I want to provide a raw sound experience. I have a mic placed, just a couple feet away from the piano. It's an external mic. So I want to give that real authentic, if you were in the room, how this instrument is going to sound. So there's 3 different main grand piano sounds, and I'm going to choose an excerpt from a classical composer, that played a big influential part in the musical culture of that city. So first up, we have the Vienna Grand, and naturally I'm going to choose to play some Beethoven. Played a huge role in the history of the piano and of Vienna. So this is Beethoven's Bagatelle number 5, opus 126, and I'm just going to play an excerpt of each. The Vienna Grand's a really nice, warm kind of texture, warm but relatively kind of European. You could really tell the European influence. Kind of that, a little bit of color differentiation, where it kind of thins out just a little bit on the top. Really lovely sound, very Viennese. I studied in Vienna for a while, and that feels pretty spot on to me. And so next, we're going to go with the city of Hamburg. And, with the city of Hamburg, there's obviously one composer, that really comes to mind, and that's Johannes Brahms. So here we go. This is the Hamburg Grand. As a note, I'm playing on full volume. Mic is placed just a couple feet away from the instrument. So hopefully this should really, sound like what it would be like if you were just standing a couple feet away inside a piano store, listening to this instrument being played. So this is Johannes Brahms' Waltz in A flat, and I'll play maybe the first half of it. So a really nice kind of dulcet, gentle tone going on with the Hamburg Grand really suits Brahms' music well, I think. The one thing that I notice, it's really easy to bring out sensitivity, little dynamic changes. And there's a very nice, resonance going on in the air around me, sort of like a three-dimensional effect. It's really interesting. And even among other grands around other hybrid instruments around the same price range, it feels unique. It definitely feels unique. It feels great. But the real hammer mechanisms inside, it just feels it's an experience unlike any other instrument. It just has a real unique feel to it. It's a really accurate representation of a grand, I have to say. And then, so the third and final piano featured on this instrument is a Berlin Grand. And so for the city of Berlin, I chose Felix Mendelssohn. We're going to play his Venetian boat song, about the first half of it, and get a feel of how this voice sounds. There we go. So just a real lovely sound. The Berlin Grand is actually the first one featured on here, and I could see why. It's a real versatile, not overly warm, not overly bright, a very kind of middle ground kind of sound that would be pleasing to everyone. And I'm going to try to give you a good sense of the dynamic range here. That's one thing that having full-length grand piano keys really helps with, is it gives you an unbridled control over dynamics and over tiny little details. And a final thought, one thing I really love, a lot of digital pianos, even high-end ones, they tend to have, a little bit of a smoother feel than a real acoustic, but I think, that the hammer mechanisms really kind of gives you that bouncy feeling a little bit that you get with traditional acoustic pianos, just more of an upwards force on the keys there. It feels really lovely. So I would say especially if you love, big jumping music, fast playing, things that are helped by that upwards force propelling you, this would definitely be, the Grand for you, the Grand Hybrid Digital for you. Because in comparison with a lot of other digitals, it just doesn't have that, the really kind of smooth feeling. Instead, it's just a really authentic kind of feel. All right. So thanks for watching. Let me know which one of those Grands was your favorite, the Berlin, the Hamburg, or the Vienna. Give me your opinions on how you think that this instrument sounds. if you'd like to see me do anything else with this instrument, any of the other Casio instruments, Kawai, Roland, what you'd like to hear. And if you liked, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.